Hi guys, Erin with Mooless Morsels here, sharing a recipe with you on this Easter Saturday. I'm going to share my always popular Rocky Road recipe. And as most of you are aware, I am anaphylactic to dairy and sensitive to eggs, and Mooless Morsels is dedicated dairy and egg free. This recipe, of course, is dairy and egg free, but it's also vegan. Now, you can choose to not make it vegan. It's completely up to you. I will just provide you with the ingredients that I use, and you can modify them whatever way you see fit. So tonight we're going to be using Dandy's marshmallows. These are vegan marshmallows, and they're available at most health food stores. Lemon and Lime on Topsail Road has them in stock. Well, they carry them. If they don't have them in stock, I'm sure if you ask Leah, she will gladly order them in for you. So that's that. We're also going to be using Enjoy Life chocolate chips. Now, these chocolate chips are free of all the top allergens. And it's a dedicated facility, so we don't have to worry about the cross-contamination. I use this in everything that calls for any kind of chocolate chip. That is my go-to. I melt it down for everything. Also, we're going to be using peanut butter. You don't have to use Kraft Smooth. You can use crunchy. You can use almond butter. You can use organic. It's completely up to you. That's just what I choose to use. So, and simple Rice Krispies. Now, if you don't have any dietary issues, you can gladly use a no-name brand. But I know the no-name brands locally here in Newfoundland do have trace or may contain warnings. So anyone that has dairy or egg allergy, be warnful. Also, in general, when you're purchasing anything to buy that you're going to consume or that your loved one who has an allergy is going to consume, even if it's something that you regularly have and has never been an issue, you should always, as a rule, read the ingredients. At any time, the plants can change, facilities can change, new products can be introduced by companies, and that would mean the cross-contamination risk would be there. So never just assume, always read ingredients. So back to the recipe. So I've already pre-measured my marshmallows and my Rice Krispies, and I put them in a bowl separately because I'm going to add them to my melted chocolate chips and my melted peanut butter. So first, you're going to take, I'm using a large pan here. This is my industrial size, which is 11 by 15. You can always use your standard 13 by 9. I'll show you 13 by 9. So your standard, just 13 by 9. But I like to get a big batch, and I freeze them. These freeze really good. If anything, I prefer to eat them frozen. The marshmallows get a bit of a crunch stretch to them. So in this bowl, we have 6 cups of marshmallows. Again, it doesn't have to be Dandy's. It could be your standard store-bought, whatever marshmallow. And I have 3 cups of Rice Krispies. Again, because this is for a larger pan. If you wanted to make a smaller batch, you can just half this recipe, and that'll give you a smaller batch. Or you can use the same size, and you can just get a thicker cookie. So then I have already pre-melted 2 packs of the Enjoy Life chocolate chips and 2 cups of peanut butters. So what's melted, it's 2 cups, so equal parts, and then it's the 3 and the 6 with the marshmallows and the Rice Krispies. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to pour my melted ingredients down over my marshmallows and my chocolate chip and my Rice Krispies. Now, you don't want to mix it too long because where it is hot chocolate, you don't want your marshmallows to melt. So this is something you're just going to do very quickly. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be evenly distributed because you're going to lay it in your pan and you're going to stretch it out. So let's do this. Get every last bit, because you can't let anything go to waste. Okay. So again, I'm just going to quickly, it doesn't have to be perfect. just give it a stir. Just try to make sure that most of the chocolate is distributed throughout the mixture. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because this is not a perfect cookie and we're not perfect people. So throw all that in your pan. Well, I try to be perfect, let's be honest. Okay. And you gotta make this face when you're scraping out a bowl because it's just not right if you don't. Okay, so once you get all that in your pan, you're just going to, I'm gonna tilt my screen down a little bit more so you can actually see. Okay, so you're just gonna basically evenly distribute it. That's the only way I can see. So I just very quickly pushing from the center out into the corners, making sure I've already pre-lined this with my parchment paper, which will make it very easy once this sets, that I can just literally pull it by the sides of the parchment paper, take it right out, put it right on my cutting board and cut it. But you want to make sure it's set good. So I just stick this in the fridge once I have it completed and let it set up. So now once you've manged it good, you're gonna throw another bag, another full bag. So you're using 3 bags of Dandy's marshmallows in total. So you're gonna throw this on top. And I just like to make sure that it's fairly evenly distributed. To make sure that every little square gets a bit of marshmallow. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. And if you don't like marshmallows that much, you don't have to put them on top. And I know I'm talking very fast. Yeah. Just moving a few around, making sure that I know when I cut it, that every piece will at least get a little bit of marshmallow. And again, you could cut it in any sizes that you want to cut it in. I like little slivers because psychologically, it makes me feel better. So there. And there we go. And then with, of course, clean hands, you're going to pat down. And I like to just make sure that I'm not getting too much chocolate on the marshmallows because you don't want it to make it look dirty. Okay. That's that. So I'll show you this. So this will go into the fridge, and generally I leave it overnight and then I let it set up and then I can cut it. So I'm going to go over the actual ingredients again with you and the amounts. So for the large batch, 2 packs of Enjoy Life chocolate chips. You're going to use in total 3 bags. 3 bags of Dandy. You're going to use 3 cups of Rice Krispies and 2 cups of peanut butter. And of course you melt down the peanut butter and the chocolate. Again, it depends on your, I just do it in that glass dish like you saw in the microwave. 2 or 3 minutes. It depends on how well your microwave is or the temperatures that your microwave goes to. But just continually check it and keep stirring it. It is chocolate. You don't want it to stick to the glass. So just check on it every minute or so. Give it a good stir and you can see when the chocolate chips start to melt and you can see when it kind of bubbles. You know then you don't want it too hot that it's going to melt your marshmallows and make it just goo. So then you just throw it all together like I said. So I hope you all have a lovely Easter. I miss all your faces. Times have changed, but we'll change along with them. And stay home, stay safe, wash your hands, and be kind. Thanks.